What would it be like if we lost our sight, or if we was never born with it? How different would life be? I'm planning on producing a short film called Sight. The initial idea came from my two friends that are currently going through life-changing operations on their eyes to gain their sight. My film is about a visually impaired person who is learning to get their independence when a life-changing opportunity arises. Base it off true events that have happened to visually impaired people and adapt it to make it more visually entertaining and to make the storyline stronger. I have also witnessed the bullying that they go through. Almost half of the people that are blind in the UK are bullied, and I believe this is due to the lack of awareness people have into blindness. It's not like playing blind or having a blindfold on and walking around waving your hands in the air. It's an actual disability that people have to learn to live with and change and adapt their life to fit in with their needs. I'm going to recreate what I believe their sight would look like so my audience can empathise and get an insight on what it would be like living with this disability and also how different and harder life is. I'm going to do this by keeping in contact with my close friends and my sister as well, as they are all visually impaired, and they can tell me what it's like, how they've experienced it. If used in my film would be the bus incident. I've got it in my test footage as well. There's a bus you can see in my test footage and it's in the distance, but you can still see and make out that it's a bus. When I've done it in the blurry footage, like how I might have filmed my film, you can't see it. The bus has just disappeared, but the bus is obviously still there, but because of their sight they cannot see this. So I'm going to film the majority of the film through the eyes of a visually impaired person. This might sound weird, but I think it's going to be interesting to see exactly how they see. Instead of doing a film about a person, I'll do it as if you are the person. The main sounds and noises you'll hear will be like the sounds and the thoughts of the main character being used. I will also have like his friends and family and the people around him talking back to him on there, but the other main part of the sound will be the soundscape of the environment around them. I've looked into other films that have been made about blindness, and most of them are based around a character, Ray, who's Ray Charles, and it shows him when he was younger and he was losing his sight to when he was learning how to live with the blindness while he still had a bit of his sight, and learning how to play the piano to when he was older and he's performing, and people laugh at him and bully him at the start, but after a while they sort of understand that he's got a gift. I want to do something different. I want to show it as if we are visually impaired. So I thought, let me see if I can see any other film that is more about what it's like to actually see like them. And I found this hard. I've looked into, which was a lot like how I might have filmed my film, is a short film called Blurry Beating. It's about an anxiety disorder. The person sees blurred visions and they show a lot of footage which is blurry. This is like how I might have filmed Sight. For coursework 1, I created a test footage called Focus. This was the first time I ever tested filming blurry. It worked well, but then I also encountered loads of problems, and for this part I've decided that I'll do another test footage after that to see if I can fix the problems and find a way to get around them. The other thing I tried to do with this test footage is do it in different lighting and in some of the settings that I'm actually going to be filming in. I found that I'm going to be working with a lot of overexposure in some of my footage. This is when it's coming from shadier areas to lighter areas. The other thing I noticed that would be a problem is my shadow, but I thought of a way to go around that is I could have a person with me and I can film behind them. At least then we've got both of our shadows and it won't look like I'm filming myself. This is my FMP proposal. Thank you for listening.